All right, Fresh. Let's go to the Armed Forces Bowl by Lockheed Martin. This game is going to be played in Fort Worth, Texas. This may be one of the best early season bowl games. Here's the problem. James Madison, 11-1. The NCAA did the right thing, let James Madison get in because there aren't enough bowl eligible teams, which is the dumbest rule ever under the sun. Second dumbest rule is that the military academies have to have 6 wins before the Army-Navy game. They're going to face the Air Force Falcons. This game is on December 23rd. At time of record, the spread is James Madison 3 points, over under set at 41.5. McLeod is in the portal, and James Madison is got a lot of kids in the portal as well. You take a look at that. McLeod is the big one. Losing him really is going to hurt for them. You take a look at Kalen Black. He is still there, but Lawton is in the portal as well. Lawton is in the portal there. So you take a look, James Madison's getting hurt pretty bad again on the offensive side. They still got some talent there. It looks like it's going to be maybe Brett Griffiths starting quarterback for them. I haven't heard who's going to take over for McLeod there, but then you take a look at Air Force. I don't know if any of the are you allowed to go into the portal if you're at a military academy?
No. You have, once you can, you have to, at all the academies, as you go into your junior year, you officially sign your service agreement that you're in. So the first 2 years you can leave and you can transfer. If you're a rising junior and you've already signed your documents, going into your junior year, then you cannot transfer and you have signed your paperwork to be in the military. So it depends. If they're a freshman, they can leave. If they're a sophomore, they can leave. The summer before their junior year, once they sign the documentation, then they're in the service and they can't transfer. So if they're early on underclassmen, they can transfer.
All right. Well, let's take this is going to be interesting because they got most of their guys it doesn't look like they have a lot in the portal. So again, I'm going to trust you on that one. Air Force is just going to try to run the football against James Madison. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that though, because James Madison, again, they're losing a lot in the portal, especially there's also quite a bit of defensive guys in it, but can Air Force do it? I mean, James Madison, have they faced the triple option this year? I don't think they did.
No, they face a lot of ground games, but nothing as disciplined as the triple option that the Air Force can present.
Right.
I think. And that it's always going to be a unique challenge they're going to have to face off. The way I look at this is the what could have been bowl. You kind of look at undefeated, App State comes to town, game day's there, and you lose a heartbreaker to the Mountaineers. If they had won that, they would have probably been the top group of 5 team. They would have been out there replacing Liberty. It would have been funny. They would have not been their conference champion, but they would have gone to the New Year's Six Bowl. Your head coach, Kurt Signetti, did an amazing job. You've obviously had great success in FCS. Most of the entire staff is now at Indiana, over in Bloomington, Indiana. You're coaching the Hoosiers. So what's your staff going to look like in this football game? You got all the guys in the portal. Where you come from? Jalen Green, your big stud who's getting all the sacks, still injured, not playing in this ball game. Where's his depth coming from? That's all going to be depleted. Funny note, I think this goes for any kind of game. You technically can be in the transfer portal and still play in your bowl game. That's an odd thing because you're still technically enrolled at the time unless you've actually physically enrolled in the next university and you're just out there in the portal. You technically can play until you've actually signed the documents and enrolled in a new school. So that's a weird little anecdote. Maybe guys, they always can come back and play for the school. They don't have to actually leave if you're in the portal. So there are unique traits that come into play. But I don't think many James Madison players, if you're in the portal, are going to come back and play in this bowl game. It was a very special season. And you kind of hope that it would end a little better where they would have had a bigger bowl game and have the really chance to celebrate it. But, hey, you got to go undefeated, and they didn't go undefeated. They got caught in that ruckus, and App State rose to the challenge. That's football, that's sports, that's life. But it's a special season, and guys are getting rewarded by having a chance to go to the transfer portal. Coaches getting rewarded by getting a better job. Things sort of evolve over time as it happens. You look at the way this team, the third best offense in the Sun Belt and the second best defense, they averaged 430 yards a game and allowed 18 a game, had 45 sacks. I mean, this team was well-rounded on both sides of the ball. Where's this depth going to be, and how are these guys going to be able to come out there and keep that legacy, if you will, going in this bowl game? Who's going to step up and take the reins with other guys not playing Are you going to feel depleted? Is the talent depth on this roster a little less where they won't be able to withstand it? And you're getting a short practice window to get yourself up to speed and ready to play. That's what I'm looking from the Duke's perspective. Air Force, they've had some injuries. The wheels fell off after Larry Ayer got hurt, and they haven't really regained their form. We thought that they were going to go all the way in and go to the Mountain West, win the Mountain West. They were undefeated, and then things sort of tapered off from there. They got beat by Army, and they just sort of went downhill. Where's the team's focus at? How do they regain that? Can they get back to their disciplined offense and defense that they've known for over the past 25 30 years under Coach Calhoun, and get back to run the football efficiently, put points on the board, get off the field? The running backs, the quarterbacks have all been sort of mix and match as the season's gone on. Busha took the reins last month and sort of helped guide the Air Force offense, but he's not exactly the dynamic player that Larry A was. Dylan Carson, John Lee Eldridge, Emmanuel Michelle, the running back group, which of those guys are healthy enough? How can they get them going in a football game, get them their touches, get them their yards? Where's this offense going to come from? We've seen from Army, Navy, obviously, and Air Force, the 3 service academies have all opened up the passing game a little bit more this year. Do they actually add a little more of a vertical element to this offense and try to take advantage of that if they aren't getting the success on the ground that we've seen in the past? Where does this team come from? Defensively, obviously, it's very controversial, but Trey Taylor, the safety, won the Jim Thorpe Award, 71 tackles, half a sack, 4 passes defense, and 3 picks. There's a lot of issues people have with that. But hey, he was voted in. He won the Thorpe Award. He's going to be back there. Does he get this defense locked, ready, prepared to take on JMU and whoever they're going to bring out there on the football field? PJ Ramsey, 3rd in the Mountain West with 7.5 sacks. Bo Richter, 4th in the Mountain West with 7 sacks. Does this Air Force defense just take it upon themselves? So you know what? It doesn't have to be pretty. You just got to go out there and win. Lock it down, play physical, take it to James Madison and get a win. I like Air Force in this ball game. I think they have that team that not many guys have left. They're playing for each other. There's just too many roster, deficiencies right now after all the guys in the portal and going to the NFL. Not many from the NFL, but more for the portal from JMU. That really, I don't think they're going to have the roster cohesiveness for this football game. I think Air Force takes care of business and wins by 4, 5 in the Armed Forces Bowl.
Fresh, if Air Force doesn't. Air Force going into this game will basically not have had a win in 2 months by the time this game plays. They haven't won a game since October 28th. I'm nervous about Air Force. I think the wheels have kind of fallen off on this. And maybe they showed something on tape. Maybe there's something. Maybe Connor Salians works for all the teams that Air Force plays for and plays against and has stolen their signs, which I believe is a federal offense because you stole a service academy sign. So might have some bigger problems down the road for him. I'm worried about that because I think while James Madison losing McLeod is a huge thing, they still have talent on that football team. That is a still very, very good team. I know a bunch of kids, and this is what's going to happen. This is the world that we are going to live in from here on out. Teams that are like James Madison, who are I legitimately think that a full James Madison team, not losing kids in the portal, not losing their starting quarterback, all that stuff, they could give most middle of the road teams in the Power 5 a run for their money and maybe beat some of them. I think that they could beat a good chunk of teams, at least in the Pac-12 and the Big 12. And
they could have beaten 6 Big 10 teams.
Yeah, and I think that there's a lot of teams in every conference. I think that they could have definitely put the boots to some of these teams in. I mean, look, A&M lost to New Mexico State, or no, Auburn did. Sorry, Auburn lost to New Mexico
A&M
State.
lost to App State last year. They're
losing. But there's still some talent on this team. I'm going with the Dukes in this game. I think that something's happened to Air Force. I don't know what it is. I don't know why this is kind of fallen apart on them. James Madison's still a 2.5 point favorite, even down their quarterback. I think that's a respect for the level of talent that is at James Madison. Give me James Madison and those points. I'll take the 2.5. Over under set 41.5. I'll probably take the under in this just because I don't think Air Force is going to score a lot of points in it. but I also could see the over easily coming in as well if they can't stop James Madison.
Okay, aim high, fire away. Um, if James Madison gets a W in this game, that just shows that that roster is truly loaded. And what they've done there, they built a pretty substantial and sustainable powerhouse.
Let's put him in the Power Five, man. I want to put a school like James Madison in the Power Five. Put him in. What the heck? We're expanding. ACC could use him. There you go. Perfect fit.
You know what they should do is a Bold City Brewery here in Jacksonville have their Dukes beer. They should get an agreement with Dukes, the James Madison Dukes, and have a extra sub brewery up there for them.
Yeah, I think James Madison, the president, would really like that, and that's what he's known for.